Hello everyone and welcome to a quick look at a game called Timber and Stone. Now if you've been watching the videos of Generic B, you may remember this particular game. It is still in development, and when Generic last played it, it was in version 1.2. It is now, as you can see, up to version 1.43. It's a little later in the day. My brain's a little strange. I've been playing this quite a bit. I got it for myself just before Christmas as sort of an early present, and turns out it's pretty dang fun and tremendously challenging. So, with that in mind, I thought I would do a quick little video, and if you guys happen to like this, then by all means say so in the comments, and vote with your like button, and we shall maybe get a full series out of this. So, let's go with a new settlement, and let's call it Edgington, because why not? And I have an idea of how this is going to start. So let's go with a large map, all the more resources. And it'll take a little bit more of a moment here while it pulls up the map. So let's see, we've got all of this. And we can examine these different locations by clicking on them. So let's see, this one, the forest terrain, largely flat, dense trees. Pretty much everything is common. I have a lot of trouble finding iron in most of mine. And fairly decent wildlife, so that actually is a fairly decent place to start. What I'm usually trying to do is find an area that has pretty good resources in terms of minerals, because if we can find a herd or a couple of sheep and bulls, maybe we can put them in a pen and they'll be okay. But it looks like this is going to be the place to go, so let's go for this location. Now it's going to pull that data and it's going to generate a three-dimensional map for us to pick our starting location. Which just does take a little bit of time because this game is still in development. Okay, here is our map. So now we can freely move around. We can accelerate a little bit by holding Shift. And as you can see, I am quickly zooming over to the side here, and there's a good reason for that. So let's find a decent enough area to build our initial place, our initial town hall. And we're looking for somewhere that's fairly flat and ideally high up on a hill, because that makes it all the more defensible. So, well, let's see, I think we are going to go around here. Alright, maybe we can start here. We'd have to drop down most of that though. Let's start with this nice open area here then. So, let's settle here, and we shall plonk our caravan right there. So, position chosen. Let us begin the game. So, first thing I'm going to do is quickly pause, because time is precious around here. So let's see who we've got. We have Nigel Mason, the tailor, and we have Lars the farmer, Lucas the builder, Bernard the carpenter, Beatrix Wright the herder, an infantryman, a blacksmith, and Goddard the miner. So we have a fairly decent selection of people, but we're going to do a couple of changes here. So we've got a tailor here, and the first thing that we need to take note of is who is the best archer, because, let's see, our archer frankly appears to be Samantha, our infantry woman. So let's change her over to archery. Archery is good when you're in the early game, and it's fairly handy when you get into later game, for the main reason that you don't have to have your guys right up against the guys attacking them, which means they take a lot less damage. So, Samantha is going to be our archer. And then we've got our blacksmith, our miner, our tailor, and all sorts. We need a woodcutter, a woodchopper, so let's see who could fill that particular shoe. Our blacksmith is probably not going to have much to do, so he can be our woodchopper. Thankfully, he's already leveled 3. Now, I should mention, all of your starting resources are completely random. So, this freestone I have started out with, completely a random thing. The range of people and their classes, completely random. Everyone has their own jobs, and they decide exactly what those jobs are when they start. So, we're just going to zoom around now and find as many animals as we can, because they are going to be quite important should some enemies turn up and start murdering them all, thereby making them scarce, making it harder for us to get some vital resources. So let us see, we've got a couple of boars so far. This couple of boars? Nope, not this couple of boars. Oh, there's a sheep. We can get some nice wool from them. Boars are very important because they give you the animal hide that you need to make beds. Chickens are very important because they give you the feathers that you need to make arrows, which, as I've just noted, we're going to need quite a few of because we're using archers to our advantage. So let's just get a nice big group of animals so that we ideally don't have to come out and fetch more. And let's see, that's a nice little rooster. Let's grab him. So the herder needs a tool known as a shepherd's crook, I believe it is. I can just check actually here. Yep, a shepherd's crook. Fairly cheap, one wooden log. And if they need that to go and grab the animals, the animals will then follow them until they are in a location where they're then set to domesticated, where they can then be left alone. Resources can be harvested from them endlessly, like feathers, or they can be slaughtered for food if you're in a desperate situation. So, then we need to go to our wood chopper, and we need to tell him to wait in the hall while he's idle and independently chop the nearest trees. And we need our miner to start flattening out the area if he can. But we're actually fairly flat already, so we may go a different way and start building a trench. But let us start by setting where our main hall is. Now this needs to be a fairly sizable location so that we don't have to worry about space inside of it, but it's also going to mark our initial building area. So let's set that. That contains our wagon there. And let's also design some building. Actually, the only thing we have to build with here right now is raw stone, so we'll leave that alone for a little bit. And Mr. Goddard, do you have anything you can get on in the course of that? Not really, and we don't have any water for fishermen to be particularly useful. Don't worry, it happens to everyone. So, with that, we now have the opportunity to set some farms. Farms cannot be set inside the main hall, which is why I have not built this up directly next to the wall. We have a good volume of wheat seeds, we have some cotton seeds, some carrots, some pumpkins, and some flax, which is very handy for making rope. So, with that in mind, let's come over here and let us set a good size for all of these. So there's our flax, there's our pumpkins, our carrots, our wheat, and our cotton. So then we'll isolate that area with its own little building, so that we can then contain this in an area where monsters won't initially try to attack. The way that monsters pathfind is that first they'll look for a doorway, so it's in your best interest to have a minimum number of doorways, and if they can't find a doorway, they'll start to directly attack the walls of your building. But with that in mind, everyone's got their jobs, so let us begin everyone running around. Now it will gradually get dark as you're in day 1 in the morning, but light doesn't have much of an impact. I would swear from my gameplay that it does have the impact at least of causing mobs to spawn, but there is not as yet any sign that that's actually part of the code. Okay, and let's also add a forge. We're just getting our list of the different workshops done, and the loom is part of it for our tailor and requires that we have a degree of stone and such, and ideally rope. Okay, so our herder is presently waiting for her crook. Our carpenter is waiting for the resources to make said crook, because our wood chopper is set to have a fairly high tolerance for how much he should be carrying before he comes back to grab anything. And while we have the opportunity then... Okay, so that wood's now there, so our carpenter is going over to build his bench. And just while that's going on, I'm going to tell our miner to dig out some of these loose rocks. Different ores do exist lower down, and as well as various points on the surface. Is that chicken set to... No, that chicken is set to herding, good. Okay, and there's all of our plants going up. You can tell them to stop seeding those, which is handy if you want to, say, move them around. But right now, our main concern is that we need a shepherd's crook for our... let's add 5 of those to the queue. So off he goes. You can see him back there. He's building the shepherd's crook, which allow our herder to go and get some animals. And meanwhile, let's get our archer over here. We can change her settings. So they'll, let's see, display bow range. So that is how far she can shoot. You can upgrade her to a longbow later on. Train on archery when near a target. That'll be good. We don't have one just yet, and they do have to replace it over and over, but it's handy to improve. The faster you can get these people to have high-level skills, the better. Morale is going to gradually decrease. There's a few things you can do to change that, but by and large it's completely irrelevant. There is no code actually attached to it yet. Fatigue determines when they get tired. Level there shows their experience. Got some traits like a weak back, so her carrying capacity is lower. And hunger will gradually increase until the point where they starve to death, which is why we have gotten these farms up and running so quickly. And we can see these small herd of animals now following Beatrix right there. Lovely. So the plan here is that we get, the reason we've built this so close to the corner of the map is that we are going to build a road going directly into our town hall. A road that does that will randomly and spontaneously carry a trader whom you can trade resources for new resources. So for example, we could trade some of our likely exuberant wood supply for some iron or some steel or some bronze or something more useful than we presently have in our resource supply. Since we are getting so much wood, we are probably going to start building our main camp out of wood, and actually I need to tell Beatrix to wait in the hall while she's idle, so she'll bring all of those lovely animals over here, and then we can eventually start building a pathway, a small little encampment to enclose them. And as soon as we can get an isolated and contained settlement where we can just live forever inside there, the better. And as soon as we can get our archeress here onto a high vantage point where she can shoot at the isolated and mazed enemies that are approaching, all the better as well. The main problem of housing animals inside of your settlement, however, is that wolves go for them. Goblins, which are our second major issue, will only attack, well, they will go out and idly hunt animals, but if they see you, you are then their prime target. Whereas the animals are the initial prime target for the wolves. And attacks do get worse for you as they go along. Okay, let us get our miner. We are in the late morning, so let's get our miner digging out this big chunk of things, so that we can get a bit more wood in our supply. That dark piece there is probably coal, if I had to take a wild guess. But the textures in this game aren't fantastic, I'll be honest. So you can easily get confused. There we go, good. Okay, and we can play again. So that gets our miner, off he goes. Good on you, Rickard. And that will get us some more stone to put to work getting some other stuff on there. Is there anything our tailor could be doing? Adventurer? Well, I can show off Adventurer. So Adventurer has the special clue that you can take control of them. You can assume direct control, which allows us to switch into first person, which is a little juddery for all the particles and stuff going on. And then we can then move around, and we can interact with all manner of different things, and we can even attack. If we had a weapon in our hands, we could actually go and attack. We can still control things, and to exit this, we just need to go with our escape, and we can presumably get a little stuck. There is a button to actually use this, but it's a little bit on the buggy side of things. So anyways, let's have a walk around. This is just the first episode, so we shouldn't be too worried. So let me see, our farmer is doing nicely over here. Yeah, we'll just walk along and take a look. It'd be interesting if it was possible at this point in time to actually, like, play the entire game just from this view of things, as Nigel Mason, adventurer extraordinaire of the village of Edgington. And, oh, we've walked into that. Okay. So, yeah, there's a boar. We don't have a weapon on us, so we can't go and attack the boar. But we can come and check on Goddard as he's walking around. Hey, how you doing? And unlike Minecraft, we automatically walk up one block high walls, so we don't have to worry about that. And now as it gets darker, we are going to have to worry about that campfire running out of fuel. You do have to refuel it with wood, but they are fairly cheap to make. The The stone forge here also requires fuel, but you can fuel that with wood or coal, which we don't presently have, and honestly wood is a lot more easy to come by. And I legitimately don't recall what button it is to get out of adventurer mode, so we may be a little bit stuck. I should have probably thought that through. Oh, but we can pause it. Press cancel to avoid, to show or hide mouse cursor. There we go. Ah, there we go, so that's the exit button. Good to know. I rarely use the adventurer because they're not that much use in the actual course of gameplay. But we don't have a stonemason to make these benches. So where is our tailor? There is Nigel Mason. Let's make him into our temporary stonemason. You can see he's only level 1, which means he's not going to be a particularly effective stonemason, but he will come in handy. And I've just seen the huge horde of animals following Beatrix there. Wow. So where's Beatrix? How far ahead is she from them? Is that thing set? Yeah, let's hurt that guy. Where are you, Beatrix? There she is. They're all crowding together, so they're having trouble following her. Okay, we have 24 wood and 18 raw stone, and it would appear that our stonemason does not yet have a hammer. And we're also going to need a couple of hammers as well in order to start building, so let's add 5 of those to the queue, and our carpenter can throw them together. And let's... oh, Benedict is now a level 4 woodchopper. Hooray! Okay, so let's use some of that raw stone to start work on our wall, and we can change that to a few different works by holding shift, which creates just a straight wall, and alt, which creates a hollow structure. Our builder is now getting to work. Let's add a door. A solid wood door is all we can afford at the moment, so that will be our structure by which people can enter. So with that, let's designate a road. Nice 3-block wide road will do, and the road has to connect part of your hall to the exterior, and it needs to hit the edge of the map, so that is why we are going over here. Okay, so that is our wall, and we've already got our door up because our carpenter is a magnificently industrious young man. And we have a bunch of stumps and bushes inside of our hall, so let's get rid of those. And already it's going up magnificently. Goddard has been a very busy man. And let's also get another door leading into what will be our farming area, as well as some raw stone walls going around it. And down a step. There we go. Perfect. Now the function of the town hall, so it shows that you can have see this going on right now, is that it causes the area around it to turn to dirt, as does a road. Lucas's iron hammer has broken. Lucas is our builder. Additional storage for wood logs. Consider constructing a wood pile. Well, yeah, we can definitely do that. So structures, storage, wood pile. Let us stick one at a fairly accessible location. Let's go with right there. So when he's next got a moment free, he'll come over and he will build that. And we have got a lot of stuff around here, jeez. Okay, so we've got this one area set aside so far. Let's identify the rest of this wall as being for our animals. And let's put a door into that. Now, animals can't open doors, so that's our main advantage here. And our campfire has run out of fuel. But that's probably going to be about enough for one episode, so we've already gotten a decent fortification going. It's sort of only focusing on one side of the wall just yet, but that's reliant upon Rickham and Goddard there getting his stone over here so we can start building with it. But the main point of note that we need to have here is that we can have our archeress stand on the top of the wall, and then she will be able to shoot at enemies even if where they cannot shoot at her. Now, she could theoretically stand on top of the door, but it gets a bit weird when you select it to move like that. So she presently has an inventory of 10 stone-tipped arrows. They are the cheapest arrows you can make, and they are fairly... they don't do fantastic damage compared to other arrows, but you have the capacity to make them endlessly between stone, which you're always on top of, wood, which you can mine and farm inside of your actual hole, and feathers, which you can mine endlessly from domesticated chickens, like the ones that Beatrix has just called. Can you stand out that door, please? So currently we've got 3 doors and a big open way to come in. So as the stone comes in, this wall is going to gradually move its way around, and eventually we will have a full wall. Ideally, I like to have that done by about day 3, but we don't have the manpower, especially for 3 miners. But we can check to see if we can any more. Not exactly a fantastic list. We need Beatrix to stay as that. We need the farming going so we can actually feed the animals, or they will eventually starve. And we don't really have anyone functioning as a forager at the moment. They're the people who would be going out and getting the animal hide to do stuff, but that's not a big issue. But anyways, that is enough for one episode. I've gone on quite a bit more, and I could go on quite a bit longer. But if you like this, let me know in the comments, vote with your like button, as they say, and spread the word around if you like it. So if you think other people like it, by all means pass the word on, because I very much like this game, and I have tried to hone to a fine skill how to keep people alive, although it is somewhat difficult when your archer shoots someone in the head. But anyways, that is it for now. I shall catch you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favourite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now, catch you later.